days. we're going to react to.
Wait, why do you dress like a lumberjack for bed?
Because she's got to cut some wood.
I'm gonna climb up some trees later. You know what I mean?
I don't think she's cutting anything with that. I mean, she's had a kid.
Oh my gosh. Here we go. Anyways.
I'll have you know.
So I want to show you what happened the other night with my poor friend. He's like a doomer. You know what I mean? Have you seen him? I've done live streams with him, the musician one.
I don't know. Maybe if I see his face.
Okay. So I don't know where to start it, but we can like skip around after Andrew gets in. And I'll give you like the background of what happened.
Is dating in Europe trash?
Shut up. That's what we're supposed to talk about, and then it didn't happen.
It just became trash.
Okay. So, can you see my cursor?
Yeah.
Okay. This is my friend Nick, and he's like a doomer guy. You know, like a musician. He lives in like a studio apartment. He plays for money on the streets. And he has like some online job and stuff like that. But anyways, he's just very negative. He's been negative since about middle school. Like, I think he peaked like, what's like 6th grade is like the last year of middle school. I don't remember. Anyways, after that, he's just been kind of like, life is terrible and blah 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 blah. But at the same time, he thinks he's like really like he's figured it out, and like you should be doom and gloom, and like he's got it right. So anyway, so that's the preface, and this is when Andrew comes in. And I'm gonna just say this: as soon as Andrew got into the chat, I texted him personally. I was not like a bad friend. I texted him and I say, this guy is a professional debater. He's going to look for any reason to like debate you about anything. So if you want, feel free, hang up, no problem. You don't have to say anything, or just, be quiet and just listen if you want to. Right? Okay. Got it, Randy?
Sure.
Randy.
So he's supposed to just shut the fuck up?
Do you have to say a curse word? We're not even like 5 minutes in. My gosh. That's why I'm never going to get monetized with you fools.
You can't think your way out of stuff anymore. And people are just so happy with all the BS going on. I mean, we got families and single grown-ups moving in the house.
Let's forward it a little bit.
Like what signs have you seen for that? Because if it's one thing I know about big fat ass Americans is that they have plenty of access to food. And that doesn't seem like it's going away, right? In fact, maybe it would be better if Americans had less access to food.
It was going to your point. The argument you made, the point was, well, as long as they are fat, dumb, and happy, so to speak, so long as they have food. The argument I'm making, okay, take away the food. What then?
Yeah, I get it, but that's not going to happen.
This is your argument. This is your argument.
Yeah, that is my argument, and part of the argument.
Okay, you just want me to forward it to where they start talking? Or do you want to hear this part before, Randy?
It's your podcast. So I'm just living in it. I don't care.
All right, because I want to hear what he has to say. Because I've already warned him by this point. What?
Already warned him. Shit's gonna go down.
I posed before. What happens then when they can't get food? What happens then when they
thinking about it, right?
That would happen in any have a work ethic are ending up homeless in tent cities? I reject that categorically. I don't believe you. I don't believe that that's the case. I don't believe that that's the fact of the matter.
Well, let
me jump in there before you answer.
Maybe there are people who are borderline. Maybe when the economy is good, these people are on the borderline and they're okay. They can make it, they can get by. But then you put a little more pressure on them, they go over to the other side. So it is related to the economy. I mean, I I mean, it's obvious it's related to the economy.
It does
'Cause
not
it-
seem so obvious to me
Well,
that
what about
in
why didn't we see that
one of
20
the
years ago?
richest in one of the richest nations on planet Earth, that able-bodied sane men, able-bodied meaning they can work, sane meaning they're mentally stable, and they're willing to work, end up in tent cities. That is not a thing which I think is true. I think
So then
it's
the
a
difference-
case use of people who are mentally ill or drug addicts, which if you're a drug addict, I think that you're at least at that point in your life experiencing mental illness.
So there's
Just to
been
try to tie it back to
Alright.
the feminists as well, because like I said, because it kind of went into the
No.
what was it like basic revolution talk.
Talking.
I'll buy you a pizza right now during the Crucible Pizza Party if you can point to one person that we can look to who's one of these big game pimping dudes who has a charisma of 1.5.
Guys, or just that to be invisible. Like these guys, they don't even count, man. I mean, it's kind of like when you play sports, bro. You ain't make the team, you're nothing. And then when you do make the team, you ain't starting, you ain't shit. I mean, I'm looking at it like that. Like of the guys who actually are out there doing it, right? Yeah, for me to even talk.
Okay, here he's about
divide
to
and conquer. If you want to keep people divided, you just pick two groups that are different. On it could be anything. You could pick brown-haired people and blue,
But
blonde
groups
people.
are different. There's an
Right.
objective. There is an objective truth of the matter. You do
Right.
agree that men and women are not interchangeable widgets, and that we
Right,
are
of course.
ontologically different, right?
Right, but I'm saying
And so when you offer incentives to the general population, if you yourself understand there's an ontological, meaning a mode of being which is different between men and women, why wouldn't you offer different incentives to men than you do women? That seems wise.
I'm not arguing against that. I'm just saying, even if we could fix the bad behavior, if you find that desirable, which I don't necessarily.
You
I
don't
don't
find it
think-
desirable to fix the bad behavior of women?
I don't see it as bad. I think that's
You
subjective.
think promiscuous women are good?
Now he's coming
Sorry?
for it.
You think promiscuity in women is good?
It's good. It's if they're happy with it, if they do it willingly, then
It's good for me. That's what he meant, right? Randy, are you there?
Well, yeah, I'm here. He's probably just saying, does he have trouble polling?
No, none. He's been pulling 25-year-olds for years, decades.
Well, yeah, then yeah, that's part of the reason. Because it's just
Yeah, so that's the problem.
he's getting the milk without buying the cow.
Yeah, so why does he want women in his life point of view, why would he want women to be
Yeah,
more
he'd be
moral?
shooting himself in the foot if he was
Yeah.
saying we should stop letting women be like that.
Yep. So yeah.
then it must be good for
I
them.
guess actually
Oh,
he's shooting himself
wow.
in the dick.
What?
Okay,
Randy,
okay,
Randy.
we had
guess
to
he'd
go.
actually
You have to
be
go
shooting-
below the belt.
No. We're not saying foul language. We're going to be good little boys.
Use the P word.
Yeah. Just say dangalang. It's much better, Randy.
I am not going to call it that.
He's speaking in the best interest of his dangalang. That's
I
all.
don't think that it's against you can't. I'm pretty sure you can still be monetized even if they're swearing.
I don't think so. Like I
There's
just
tons of creators that are monetized. They have plenty of swearing in their content, both live and in just videos that they post.
but I think like the first 10 minutes or something you're not supposed to.
I think it's 3. I thought.
That sounds like something.
Well, you did it within the first few seconds.
so whatever. We're screwed. Anyways, moving on.
Come on, Steven's a
Gotta
big
choose.
baller doctor. You don't need any money from YouTube.
Thank God for you, Nick. So, Nick, what you're saying is you're a coomer, right?
I am not familiar with that term.
You're
Me
a
neither.
what
What
we
is a
would
coomer?
consider.
So this is where he is educated on coomers, and you realize that his whole life he's been a coomer. Okay.
Oh, see, look at Grid. He just said his channel just got monetized today, and he swears like a sailor. You muted yourself, Kat.
Sorry, I wasn't talking.
What type of sailor?
All right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so Grid got monetized, so now he can get money. And I guess he does kind of curse. Maybe you can curse.
By the
But
way,
I mean,
congrats,
it's
Mr.
Holy
Walker.
shit!
No, no,
All
no,
this.
within reason. Like if
Okay.
it's appropriate and not like anything really gross. Randy.
All I said is that he basically shot himself in the dick, not in the foot, or he would.
I know, but that's like the stepping stone words.
Stepping
To
stone.
what?
What?
Just don't say the P word because it's really disgusting.
Wait, which
Penis,
one?
dick, cock?
Stop.
What we
Which
would
one?
consider a sexual deviant, your morality when it comes to sex is that more of it is preferable than less of it. And the more people who want to have it, well, quite frankly, Andrew, it's just none of your concern.
No. I just think whoever wants to have sex should have sex, and whoever doesn't.
That's what I
want
just
to.
said, right?
Well,
So,
but
so
I'm
here's
not
the thing.
deciding. No, listen, and I'm not
Mhm.
deciding for society, at large.
Well, let's
I'm
say
just
you
saying
could. Let's assume
I
you
wouldn't.
could. Yeah,
I
but let's
wouldn't.
assume that you could.
I wouldn't.
So
I
even
still-
if you could, if you still wouldn't, then you are deciding.
No.
Yeah.
I'm deciding for myself. I decide for myself.
Well,
and I think
no. You hang on. If you are ultimate dictator Nick, you're in charge of all of society, and you say people can be just as promiscuous as they want to be, I still would take no different position than here as the decider. You're saying that this is a moral ought. It's actually an imperative that people be able to be allowed to be promiscuous if they so choose to be. That is the entailment of that thought process, Nick.
It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter because people would
It
always
does
end
matter.
up finding a new kind of morality. No.
Well, then why make murder laws, Nick? After all, people will just always find a way to murder. Why have laws against murder, Nick? That makes no sense.
Right, like war, for example. People.
Yeah,
still
I
find
mean,
ways to
why?
murder.
Why have law, Nick? Why have a law of anything if people will just find a way to skirt it?
That's a good question because I mean, the only thing that keeps laws in place is that most people follow them. Most people obey them. So they must be good enough because if they weren't good enough, most people would break them. And when most people break them, you might as well just take it out of the law books.
So just so I got this right, you don't think that a law against murder deters murderers?
Do we still have murder?
Do we have less murder than we did when the deterrents were less strong towards murder?
I don't know.
Well,
Okay. So I think this is where he kind of lost it. And he was just like trying to defend his point.
I mean, I will say this, and I'm sure Andrew would destroy me if I ever, tried to argue with him. But I will say this is I don't think it's necessarily. I wouldn't be in support of writing laws against promiscuity because I think when it's fairly hard to enforce, and B, it's just, we live in America, and I do think that people should have free will to do, as they please. I agree. I think promiscuity is bad. I think hookup culture is bad, but I think that the correct way to solve that problem and make it less prevalent is just through shame. So shame the guys of stop being coomer, stop being a simp. Shame the girls, stop being 304s or strumpets, whatever your term is that you like to use.
Trumpets.
Yes, trumpet. I
Harlots.
like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one that Brian's been using a lot lately.
Oh my gosh.
I think shaming people and trying to pound better morals into people's heads and trying to get people to live by better morals is a better way to go about it rather than writing a law for it.
Yes, pounding it into their heads.
What about a law that you have to shame people? Can we do that?
A big
Like,
bell. Shame.
I mean,
shame.
let's put it this way. If there's a law against hookup culture or whatever, if say there's a guy and a girl that they're like neighbors, they live side by side, and eventually they start fucking.
Hey, whoa. They start having relations. Go on.
They start having carnal knowledge.
Picking up.
Unless they're telling people, because obviously the police would need to find out, I don't think the guy or the girl would be going to the police like, "Hey, I hooked up with this girl the other day." It'd be like a drug deal happening, and the person that bought the drugs going to the police and be like, "Hey, I just bought drugs. Like, arrest that guy. He's a drug dealer." Like nobody. It's one of those things. It'd be very challenging to enforce.
I mean, aren't there already laws in the book that we just ignore about stuff like that?
Stuff like what?
Like, isn't like sodomy and some weird stuff like that in some states
I think
illegal?
sodomy is pretty easy to figure out what happened.
No. I mean, like, it's on the books. Like, it's a law. It's
Yes,
just
it
not
is. They're
enforced.
against sodomy. Yes.
I'm not sure about that, but
Bestiality.
regardless.
Oh my gosh, did you see that? Who was
Speaking
it?
of
No.
bestiality.
Shh. There's that chick that came out as like trans canine or something, and then her account got banned on X.
Haven't
People are
heard
so
about that.
weird.
I'd be fine if I had
I
never
forgot
heard
who
about
sent it
that.
to me. I think it was this teriyaki guy in the corner here. I think he sent me. It was so cringe, but yeah. Let's move on.
Well, the answer is yes. Murder has been doing.
There, were you?
Here's what. Well, we have stats, right? You can pull them up right now while I'm talking to you.
That's hearsay.
It's hearsay. Now, Nick, I just want to make sure I got this right. You don't think that we can track the number of human beings who have been killed absent justification inside of this nation? I just want to make sure we're clear.
You were talking about the past. If we were to go back 500 years,
we don't need, bro. Why do we need to go back 500 years? A total red herring.
You were talking about
no, it's a total red herring. I'm talking about right now, right this second. Do you agree that, well, let's just say in the 90s, the murder rates were higher than they are right now?
Okay, that's easier to do. We can compare the 90s to now, but I can't talk about pre-law.
Yeah, but we weren't talking about pre-law. Total red herring.
Hey, brother Nick, if I could jump in real quick.
I wasn't. But hang on, let us finish. Let us finish. We're almost done.
Yeah, I'm just real quick. If I could get away with murder, bro, if I have to, if I could get away with murder, bro, it would be a lot of people in body bags right now, bro. It's the law that keeps me from doing it. Right? Just keeping it 100, bro. I mean, I gotta make that point. It is a deterrent.
So Nick,
Randy, do you think that the law is a deterrent from you murdering people?
I think, well, law, I mean, like the old saying, law, like making stuff illegal only keeps honest people honest. Like, if somebody's a true criminal and a piece of shit, they really aren't going to care. That's why people are still murdered despite there being a law against it.
Well, but it'll make it a little bit more difficult for them to do it.
Because you have to do it so you won't get caught.
No, they can still do it. It's just
they can. Of course, they're going to do it.
They can still do it just as easily.
If it's legal, no repercussions. Anytime someone cuts me off in traffic, it's on.
There's movies about this. I think it's called
The Purge.
The Purge.
The Purge.
Yeah, you should watch that. The Purge.
I haven't seen that. I've heard.
Oh, it's a great movie.
I've heard.
It's very realistic.
It's a date movie, perfect to get to know someone.
No. Anyways, let's keep on going. But yeah.
I mean, yeah, I get what he's saying, but I'd say murder's different than, say, like hookup culture and stuff, because of like murder or even just assault. Like, it's much easier. It's much easier for proof. It's much more likely that one of the people involved, like say somebody gets assaulted, like you get stabbed, they're going to go to the police because, it was harmful to them. But if you have two consenting people hooking up, why would either of those people go to the police? So you're relying on other people reporting them, but how would people know for sure if, like, they're in a private bedroom? How would other people know that they're hooking up?
OnlyFans.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think that we should get rid of OnlyFans and stuff like that. But that's a different conversation.
Well, how about
as far as I know, we're talking more about like hookup culture and stuff, right?
Well, like, what about if you attack just regular old degenerate type stuff? Like, you can't make money for posting or in relation to nudity.
It shouldn't even be about money. It should be more so about you can't post it. I mean, the fact that what is it, Title 240 or something like that? basically the law it allows social media companies to like limit free speech. Like that's why you can't say anything you want to say on social media, even though that's a violation of the Fourth Amendment or the First Amendment. I mean, it's with that same title, every social media company could just outlaw that you can't post sexual content. But they're not going to do that because they know it makes them a lot of money as well.
Well, yeah, but if you have a law that would trump whoever makes money, they would not do it. I'm sure you can monetize a lot of things that are illegal and people would watch it. They'd make lots of money off of it. Certain things I'm not going to say, but there's things that are horrific. And if it wasn't illegal, they'd be posting it.
Give me 5 seconds. I got to switch the battery in my headset really quick.
Oh, yeah, let's keep watching.
So Nick, I guess the point we're getting at is,
but it's a law. Hold on, hear me out though.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
a law that exists because most people think it's a good law. That's what I'm trying. That's the point I'm trying to make.
You
and
think that
even if you took it out of the law books, we would come back to it. We would gravitate back.
well, geez, Nick, that's really weird because most people don't like the lobbyist laws. So how come we still have the lobbyist laws?
I don't see how that's relevant.
Wait, Nick. Now you just got done saying the only reason we have laws is because most people like them. That's why we have them. And yet I can give you many examples of laws most people don't like, and yet we still have those laws. It's really weird, Nick.
The laws that people actually end up obeying, I think, have to be good enough. They have to be good enough. Otherwise, yeah, they stay in the law books, but there's no penalty. Nobody really gets in trouble.
But that's to my point, not to your point.
Spitting on the sidewalk. It's illegal to spit on the sidewalk in Florida, but nobody cares because nobody gets penalized for it. Nobody gets arrested for it. And
so hang on. So what you're saying is that if people got penalized for it, that less people would do it.
No, people would
no, no, they wouldn't.
No, because the police.
So I don't understand. I thought you just got done saying most people don't spit on the sidewalk in Florida because if they do, they're not penalized for it, and that's why they do it. But now you're saying, okay, go ahead, Nick.
Let me finish. Okay, so there's a law in Florida against spitting on the sidewalk, right? Nobody enforces this law because they realize how absurd it would be to try to enforce it. So everyone spits freely. Everyone spits on the sidewalk freely if they want to. Now, if you were to decide to try to enforce that law, like seriously, I think the police would be the first to say, yeah, no, let's not.
Oh, you do, huh? So do you think that most people in the United States are for or against the tax laws?
On some level, they must be for it.
Oh, you think that they're for it? They love it. They love having Uncle Sam come and take their money, 1/3 of their paycheck every time they get paid. They love that, Nick. It's their favorite.
Well, if you were to turn it to 78 or 80%, you'd get a different answer.
Oh, so let me get this right. So hang on. So they don't want any of it, but because it's the law, they pay it. Even though they don't like the law, they very clearly don't like the law. You're saying they must, at some level, actually like the law because otherwise they wouldn't do it.
No, they don't like.
Would that like be the equation with like Aztec human sacrifice, Nick? They just sacrificed humans because that's what they liked it, right? They liked it. That was the thing. They loved it.
I think you're digressing a bit, but I think people must consider.
Well, it's not a digression; it's an argument.
They must consider it just to some extent. Otherwise, they wouldn't pay. They just wouldn't pay. They wouldn't.
So to get this right, all morality is intuitive.
No, not all morality.
Well, I mean, no. Hang on, Nick. I can explain how that has to be an entailment. Because what you're saying is that the intuition of people is what makes the law. Since the intuition of people is what makes the law, what makes the law?
It's a collective phenomenon. It's like
the intuition of people. Hang on. How do you come up with the collective of people want X if it's not based on their intuition?
I'll explain. So the south of Italy, right? They have tax laws, but everyone finds a way around them They find very clever ways around them. So they come up with new laws. So people find cleverer ways around the new laws. And in the end, people still don't pay taxes. Why? Because there's this collective will.
Okay.
There's this cultural phenomenon that just takes place and nobody pays taxes. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, they do, but they do pay taxes, Nick.
Yeah, obviously we do.
They pay fewer taxes than they do in the North.
Now, okay, but they pay their taxes because that's the law, right?
Only the taxes that they're forced
So
to
now,
pay.
Nick, we can figure this out right now. Assuming there was no laws anywhere in southern Italy that anybody ever had to pay taxes, right? Ever.
Right.
Versus there are laws that people do have to pay taxes. Under which system do you think people would pay more taxes?
They would pay the.
Now, Nick, answer my question, Nick.
I'm answering your question. They pay
No. I just want to know if we had a nation. So I just want you to tell me which system. The system where there's no law that you have to pay taxes versus a system where you have a law that says you have to pay taxes. Which system are people paying more taxes under?
I'm trying to explain. Okay, so they would end.
You're going to explain it. Okay.
They could possibly pay more taxes, just a different type of tax to a different entity. They'd pay the pizzo to the mafia. They'd end up having to pay someone because we gravitate towards these structures anyway. It's like if you were to try to implement, if you wanted to go to resort to chaos and like anarchy would never last for very long because we just
so then back to my question. System says you have to pay no taxes. System says you have to pay taxes. Which system do more people pay taxes under?
It depends on the people. It depends.
It depends. So you think that under the system where there's no taxes, people are going to go and pay taxes?
Yes, because they have.
Yes. Okay. Well, with that, I'm going to go take a leak while you just understand your massive cognitive dissonance that you just said. Under a system where no one has to pay taxes, they're still going to pay taxes. You insane bastard. I just heard you out. That's insane. What you just said is absolutely okay. Go ahead. All right, I'm listening.
Okay, now, no, it depends on the culture, right? If you have a culture where people believe that they all need to pitch in together and it's important for these public areas to be well kept, then yeah, they're all going to pay taxes. They're going to pool together. It's not going to be enforced by the government, but they're going to find it, morally correct to do it. And they're going to do it of their own will. Okay. Whereas in another system where the culture's flawed, but the government is trying to impose something, it doesn't matter if the law is there in place. It doesn't matter.
Is there such? Can you give me an example of such an area?
Sorry,
no.
You give me an example. Any example? I don't care which one.
He's arguing
such an area where people willingly take money out of their pocket to make a community.
Yeah, so small organizations. Haven't you ever been part of a community?
I'm talking.
Stephen, it was on mute.
Yeah. The evil HOA.
Yeah, fuck HOAs. I would never live in an HOA.
Unfortunately, we do.
But we got security.
Man, you messed up. Oh my gosh.
Run by morons.
Yes, but we're the only people in the area that's never had any break-ins around here. So,
True.
I mean, winning.
We're just living a better area.
Randy, you live in Ohio.
Yeah, who wants to live there?
I live in Hudson, Ohio. I don't have to worry
Big
about
deal.
that.
Nobody wants to be in Ohio.
Have you been to Hudson? Oh, you have. You live there. But
all I have to say is I don't have to worry about break-ins and crime and stuff.
Because nobody wants
not
to
living
be
in an
there.
HOA. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever you say, Kat. That's fine. I honestly like this negative stigma that Ohio seems to have for some reason because it keeps so many idiots out. Like, you have tons of these retarded Californian liberals moving to Texas, to Florida, to all these other red states. Yeah, don't come here. Yeah, Ohio sucks. Don't come here. Go to those other states.
Is Ohio a red
sucks.
state?
We're a swing state, but we lean more red. Like pretty much only like Cleveland, Akron, Columbus, maybe Toledo. Like they're blue, obviously, because they're bigger cities. kind of how it is in any state for the most part. The bigger cities are typically going to lean more blue, but we typically lean red. I mean, our governor, DeWine, he's Republican. We've had him for quite a while now. That being said, he's a rhino. I can't stand the guy.
Well, I don't care about Ohio. Let's move on.
Well, yeah.
Nobody cares about Ohio.
I'm sorry, Randy.
Yeah, it's okay. Just move on.
I'm talking about people living in a community, not a business that has a means to an end. I'm talking about like in my community here, nobody pays anything because we don't want to. There's no HOA. We just do our own shit. We all take care of our own yards. Down the road, there's an HOA. They fine people if they don't pay money to keep the grounds clean.
Yeah, but
that's how that works.
Yeah, but
now, are you talking about? I don't think you can give me an example of any. But let me ask you a question about taxes, because taxes have a special place in my heart. So, do you really? So, just in full transparency, for the last roughly 10 years, I have been very fortunate enough to pay over 6 figures in income tax every single fucking year.
I mean, let's we can actually simplify this real quick.
Given the choice, do you think I would want to do that?
Of course not. Of course not.
Oh,
but you're
okay then. Right. If it wasn't under pain of law.
Well, hang on. Let me steelman Nick's position, because I think I understand what he's saying. Nick's saying, and Nick, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I just want to steelman this properly so I know I have it down pat. You're saying, absent a taxation system, there'll be X amount of voluntarists who will still give money for X amount of things because they want the better society, whether it's infrastructure or this or that, right?
Depending on the culture.
Sure.
I'm not talking about the world we live in now.
I understand. Let's just say it's some more advanced culture or something like this. Okay.
Right.
So then I want you to understand this entailment. You tell me if this is true or false under this worldview. We have no laws against murder. There'll be just as many murders as if we didn't have laws saying you could not murder.
If you could indoctrinate, if we could conduct a controlled, we could never do this, but if we could somehow conduct a controlled experiment where you totally indoctrinated one group of children in one community and did the same in another, the culture would be the most important factor. That would dictate how the people behaved and what they did, not some law, like something written on in a book.
Well, okay then, Nick. Then in this culture, the one that we currently live in, would there be more murder or less murder if you made murder legal tomorrow?
I would assume more murder.
You would assume more murder. So then, Nick, would there be more prostitution or less prostitution if you made prostitution legal tomorrow?
There's plenty of prostitution. There might be more prostitution now than there was before, because if you consider OnlyFans prostitution, I mean, or sugar daddies, since the internet, I think we've seen a rise in prostitution.
Let's just say hookers.
Form of it.
Let's just say women who get penetrated by men for money. Would there be more of them or less of them if you made a law saying that if you can get penetrated for money, it's legal? More or less?
It depends on how easily you could get around the law.
The law says it's legal.
Oh my God, he's so fucking dumb.
Yeah. So,
this Nick guy is stupid as hell. He literally just said it's legal, and you're like, if they could get around the law. Like, are you listening to the same words coming out of his mouth that the rest of us hear?
Yeah.
Ah.
I think he's being what do you call it?
Know-it-all?
No. He's being absolutist.
Spoiled.
No, absolutist.
What does that mean?
Meaning 100% of every single person is going to follow, this law or whatever it is. I think Nick is trying to go for the tiny niche, very tiny portion of the population that would not follow it.
I think Nick's trying to argue from the like standpoint of a utopian society.
Yeah.
Because he's
Possibly.
talking about how like, oh well, if there were no tax laws, people would still pay taxes because they think it's their duty and it's good and blah blah blah. Right? Because somebody's like, yeah, I'd rather use this, give this $5,000 to the government to do whatever they want, versus use the $5,000 to take my kids on a vacation. Obviously, everybody would take the $5,000 for their kids, themselves, whatever, their family, use it for their own things. Not many people are going to be like, yeah, just for sure, I don't have to do this, but let me just write you a check. Do whatever you want with it.
Yeah. Let's go on.
The answer is more, brother. There's no getting around it. It's more.
I was just gonna say, Grid.
There's no getting around it, brother.
Cat's still up on her night off. Every night's Cat's night off. She's a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah. Living the dream.
Or nightmare.
What?
No.
How dare
We're talking about from Cat's point of view, not yours.
Oh,
Like my dad always said, it's tough being a hot chick.
What?
He went.
He's
Oh,
a hot chick?
He's a hot chick now?
No.
Wait. He was your mother, now he's your father.
I get it.
Got it.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. In Ohio.
If your aunt had balls, would she be your uncle?
Okay.
I mean, even if your point is they were already doing it for money, breaking the law. If you made it legal, it's going to be more of them, bro. Legally out there doing it. They'll be on the street.
Yeah.
The answer to this question is more. There's no getting around it, bro. To both killing.
That's the answer. That's the answer to everything. If you were to say that going 120 miles an hour down the highway was now legal, right? Would more or less people do 120 miles an hour on the highway?
I do at least 90.
I want to slow down, but sure.
Yeah, but the question is, would more or less people do it?
I think it still depends on the people.
It still depends. Yeah.
It's
Okay. The United States, you made a law tomorrow. You can do 120 miles an hour on any highway you're on. Would more people do 120 miles an hour on the highway, or would less people do it?
Of course, in the U.S.
Well, then we have established that a deterrence in law is effective. So when I ask you, Nick, I say, Nick, what do you mean that you could not curtail female promiscuity through law? You say it can't be done. You're clearly incorrect. Of course it can be done. Of course it can. Because all other forms of law that which we talk about, where I say the incentive is either there or it is not, you say, I agree. If thing X were legal, more people would do thing X. For instance, right now, let's assume that it's illegal to own a firearm. If it was legal to own a firearm, would more people own a firearm, Nick, or would less people own one?
Obviously, more people would own a firearm.
Then, Nick, you have no argument, bro. I just walked you through your whole argument. Now you know, bro.
I still find your argument a bit simplistic. I think it's still simplistic.
It doesn't need it. Why does logic need to be complex?
These extreme examples, right?
It's not extreme.
There
are countries right this second where you cannot own a gun. True or false?
True. Yeah.
Okay, and then there's countries right now like this one where you can. True or false?
Look, there's a country.
Answer my question, Nick. True or false? The answer, Nick. I'm almost done. Answer my question. There are countries right now where you can own a gun. Correct?
Yeah.
And there's countries right now where you can't. Right?
Okay.
So how's that extreme? It's literally mapping it onto reality.
No, you don't. No, you're comparing owning guns to prostitution. I feel that prostitution's already. I mean, there's so much of it. I don't know if there would really be a difference if you were to make it legal tomorrow, because there's so much
more guns
anyway. Okay, yeah, there would be more. Obviously, there'd be more, but it would be. I don't think it'd be very significant because the law isn't keeping people from.
But would there be? Okay, let's assume that it just wouldn't be significant. Would there be more prostitution if it was illegal, or less?
Obviously there would be more, but I mean, is it really
there would be more? So then the question becomes, what do you want to see in society? is a push towards in society with prescription of law and governance. If you want to see bad behavior from people, then you would ascribe to the Nick philosophy of let them do whatever the fuck they want, because after all, you can't mitigate it with law, even though Nick also says you can mitigate all of this with law. So make it make sense, Nick.
You're missing my point. Now, because you go to extremes, and that's not what I'm trying to say.
I'm not being extreme.
You're not going to change. You're not going to make any significant changes necessarily by changing the law. That's what I'm trying to say. If you write something down on paper, that's not going to change the way people behave. Okay,
Brother Nick, if I could
really wait, hang on. I just want to make sure I got this clear. Really, you're saying that if you pass a law tomorrow, it's not really going to change very much what happens based on the law? No?
Let me rephrase
you want to revise? Yeah, go ahead and revise that. I would too.
Okay, now, if you really want to make a change in the culture, if you want to make a change in the way women behave and the way couples work, the law is probably not where you should begin. You should begin with culture. You should begin with education, with children, what children are taught. That's going to be...
Are children taught based on prescription of law?
Yeah, religious law, social law.
They're not really.
Oh, I teach my daughter about the law, bro. I teach my daughter about the law. Just real quick, brother Nick. Real quick, brother Nick. My daughter and her iPhone ran up a $10,000 bill. After I calmed down.
$10,000?
Yes, sir. After I calmed down, video games that the goddamn, just like slot machines. It wasn't a slot machine. She was just playing some video game. It was like power up now. And it's a long story. We had an adult. I didn't have an iPhone at the time. I was Android. We had an adult. There was the go between her purchases, and then we changed the accounts, and the adult came off, and we weren't thinking. So my daughter had she's had unfeathered access to the money. And she ran up, just, we saw it. It was after the banks called me. We saw how she did it. A little bit here, a little bit there. That's all beyond the point. The point is, I had to explain the law behind that. I said, listen, you're my daughter and I love you. I can talk to you now. It's been a week. You know what I mean? So here's the thing. If you had done this to anybody else, you would go to prison because this is against the law. You stole money. That's what that was. This isn't yours and you stole it. That's the law. I had to teach her that. Very teachable moment. Cost me a shit ton. I got 5,000 back, but I was still out $5,000, right? But it was the law that I was teaching her. And I also got to teach her the law as to, how it's going to affect her as she moves forward. I'm a parent. That's my responsibility. So yeah, you got to incorporate. And if I was religious, I would be talking about religious law, be it Christian or Muslim or, or Jew, whatever religion, they all come with rules. They all come with laws. So you got to teach that, bro. Like, I mean,
if I were in charge, I wouldn't choose to focus on changing laws. If I really wanted to change society, I would start elsewhere. That's all I'm saying. Now,
where would you start, Nick?
As I said, I would start with culture. I would start with education.
Yeah, well, I mean, but I don't understand. When you say you'd start with culture, what would be the mechanism for which you would affect culture as a leader who would pass no laws?
I would say it's on every individual. It's their responsibility to do it. It's our
so you
responsibility.
Can do anything as a leader, is what you're saying?
I wouldn't want to be a leader.
So let me just make sure I got this right.
I don't want to be a leader.
Here's Nick's leadership. Do nothing.
I don't want to be a leader.
Do nothing. If Nick were a leader, do nothing. And if Nick conceivably were put in a leadership position, he would say he would change the culture by doing nothing. Excellently. Well done, Nick.
No,
you have definitely solved the problems of the United States with your epic leadership skills of doing nothing. Wonderfully done.
No, listen.
Highly appreciative, Nick.
I'm not going to be a dictator. I'm not, listen to me. I'm not going to be a dictator. I'm not going to be a leader. I'm not trying to be a leader. That's not my point. My point
I know, but the question became this. If you were in charge, and you did not change law because you don't think it affects culture, then Nick, how would you change culture?
Propaganda, the way we're changing it now, the way people are changing it now.
Would you need to have a law in place in order to produce propaganda? No,
you don't. Clearly you don't, because all the ways we're brainwashing people now doesn't depend on the law.
Yes, it does.
I mean, yeah, it's within the limits of the law.
No, so it's based on the law. So it's based on the law, Nick.
You're not listening to me.
I'm listening, bro. I'm listening.
No, I'm saying obviously there are things that you can't do, but there isn't a law telling us what we have to do. We're brainwashing ourselves the way we choose. Okay.
So what you're saying is that there's no law. So there's no law. Wait. So you're saying that there's no law which has a threshold for propaganda, only a law that does not have a threshold for propaganda. So within the prescription of law, everyone can do propaganda. But couldn't you just make a law saying that only certain people could make propaganda, which was good for the culture? And since you're the leader, shouldn't you?
No, I wouldn't want to do that.
No, you wouldn't want to do that.
Who decides what's good? Who decides what's bad?
Well, you're the leader. Don't you decide?
No.
No.
This whole discussion is based on our opinions. Okay. It's not.
Yeah, but you're the leader in this hypothetical. You're the leader in this hypothetical. You're in charge, Nick. What do you do?
I guess unethically, I'd have to manipulate what gets more publicity. What gets
what are those things, Nick? What gets more publicity? What do you do to curtail the problems of the United States?
I don't care, actually. I don't know what
Nothing?
I would decide. I'm probably the least qualified person to decide that. But I think that all I'm trying to say is whoever wanted to be in that role, I think
you would be right there to criticize them, wouldn't you, Nick? At least whoever was in that role, Nick would be right there to criticize them, even though Nick, if he was in that role, wouldn't do anything. Well, Nick, how long should I let you talk before I ever get to respond?
Well, let me finish. I'm sorry, my points are a bit long. But
well, to make them short.
You turn them into something they're not.
Well, no. I'm just giving you entailments of what you're saying, bro. I know it's uncomfortable, but it's an entailment.
I'm leaving. Because
you're leaving.
The point I'm trying to make. Okay.
No, Nick. Nick, are you leaving, Nick? Are you running, Nick? You leaving? All right, Nick. You're gonna have to lead somewhere else another day, Nick.
What? Cat. Your buddy.
You guys.
Hey, Cat.
He didn't
Don't worry.
know.
Raging Tomato did that to me. I jumped on her platform with a Fresher Fit t-shirt, and I had to fight off 8 or 9 folks. But it led to some real good friends. I don't rage quit. I don't quit because I'm airborne. We don't do that.
I don't know that he was.
I sat there and dealt with it
as much as he just gave up.
However you want to call it. I thought the young kids call that rage quitting, but it is what it is. See, it's in there saying, "Yeah, rage quit." I don't know what it is. What it is, but sometimes you just got to hold the L, man. I mean, I play sports. You know me, we do. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You don't like it, but it's just, hey, good game. You know what I mean? I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna come back and see you ass. You know what I mean? You can find this guy. You can find Andrew. I'm gonna go practice, go climb up Mount Wudang, work on my Tiger Crane style. Then I'll come back and find him, right? And then have another go. But man, that was brutal.
It's tough to watch because it was just tough. It was tough to watch.
Okay. So, yeah. That's what happened, Randy. Are you still there?
That was definitely a rage quit.
You think?
Oh, that was definitely a rage quit. He basically said, I'm taking my ball and going home.
Oh my gosh. I don't have my phone. Where was it? He texted me like every 20 minutes the entire night. He's in Paris, so I guess the time is different. So he was supposed to be asleep. He's texting me every 20 minutes. Who is this guy? He's not important, right? This point was wrong. And then he's sending me like all these things the whole night long. And I'm just like, just go to bed. Just go to bed. It's fine. Because I had told him before, I'm like, he's famous, for debating people. Do not try to say anything. And then, and he's like, I'm going to do it anyways. And when he's picking up his phone, you couldn't see it. I thought you were going to see it. But it was basically just me saying, shut up. Stop talking. Give up. You can just sign off. Anyways. So yeah, that's what happened. Do you want to see my new shirt, Randy?
Sure. Nice.
So I'm gonna be wearing this next week.
Happy for you, Kat.
Thank you.
Enthusiasm is killing me.
Can you hear the excitement in my voice? I'm just astounded. Super enamored.
Good night, everyone. If you have to go, good night, Grid. I understand. We're just hanging out. Anyways, so what's going on with you, Randy? Tell us what's going on in your life.
Nothing much. Same old, same old.
Did you deliver?
Yeah, I was dashing earlier.
How was
I
it?
got home. It was
Nice.
good, I guess. I don't know. They kind of blew, not low key, not gonna lie.
Any stories you gotta tell us from the past week? Somebody coming to the door, you know, in leathers and.
Okay, Steven. Be weird.
No, although today this one guy fucking came to the door. He was maybe like 300 pounds or so, and he was wearing nothing but boxers.
Oh.
Nice.
How are ya?
Hello, sailor. Was he happy to see you, or just?
I didn't check.
You
Didn't
sure?
didn't care to make that observation.
He couldn't tell.
Mm. Yeah. Well, oh, I was on. Do you remember that purple pill guy, Randy?
Oh, yeah. Didn't Berto go on his podcast? You're muted.
I think so. Oh,
no, you're not. No, you're not.
mute. I think so. But anyways, so that guy went on Project. I think it's called Project VO Pod, and I
His
went on
name's
them.
on the top of my head. I want to say it starts with an S.
Sergio.
Yeah, Sergio.
Yeah. So I went on with them, and they were talking about, can men and women be friends? Remember, I think we talked about that a couple times.
Yeah. Anyways, what about it?
So I think he said that you should be friends with women because if you have hot female friends, you can get access to their hot female friends, and then you could date them.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I think Sergio's kind of in the same boat, at least in my book, as like Fresh and Fit is.
Why?
It's just this whole idea of, oh, be an alpha male and just smash bitches, just pull bitches and stuff. And yeah, meanwhile they talk about how, promiscuity in women is bad, hookup cultures, like, talking about how, no man wants to marry a hoe and shaming girls with high body counts and stuff. And yet they're basically advocating for men to run through women. I mean, it's kind of your two arguments conflict each other.
Okay.
Like, oh, men should run through women, but women shouldn't be hoes and shouldn't rack up body counts because no guy wants to marry that.
Yes, but
they can't go hand in hand.
Can they be friends?
Well, no.
Why?
Because there's probably some feelings there on one party's behalf at some point.
Steven had a lot of female friends before. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've had female quote unquote friends before, but either I would have fucked them if I was able to, or they would have fucked me if they were able to.
Okay, so these female friends in quotes, could you have like good conversations with them where you talk about your problems or?
Oh, it's not like I actually care to have conversations with them.
So you didn't have any conversations with any of these women?
So,
dude, it's clouds. Wow.
Dude, no, I don't. I'm not I'm not gonna.
What do you talk about?
How are they friends if you don't talk to them?
Obviously,
he just look at their tits.
Oh my gosh. So wait. So there'd be a group of women, and you'd be like, "Oh, these are my female friends," and then you just go over there and stare at their chest and be like, "Nice."
No, I was never I don't know. Maybe I was in high school or something. But I never was really friends with like a group of women, unless you count like 3 girls. Is that a friends group? 3 girls that are friends?
Yeah. Sure.
Well, you can be friends with one female. I mean, attractive female or not attractive, but whatever. You can be friends with one of them. Were you friends with one of them? Close friends?
I get, but like it's hard to even say that we were friends. It's more so just acquaintances out of just convenience.
Hmm.
Because like, some of those quote unquote girls that were friends, it was just in college, and it's just like they lived like we met, like me and my buddy, we met them because they lived in our same dorm freshman year. And it was like the first weekend of college. It's just me and my buddy. We don't really know anybody there. So we're just like, fuck it. Let's just go knock door to door and just, go meet some people in the building, both guys and girls. It's like we just went door to door knocking and meeting people. And, there's a few people that's like, oh, you guys seem kind of cool. It's like we exchanged phone numbers and stuff. And long story short, some of them became kind of friends, I guess. But it's just that it's Friday or Saturday night, and it's like, oh, let's go to a party or let's go out to the bars. It's just we had more people that we could just go out and have fun with. Like,
so you did basically what the Jehovah's Witnesses did.
What?
They go door to door, they make some friends, and then they get together in this big, huge group of friends, and they talk about one person.
What?
God.
Oh, Cat, 07 is a salute, because the 0 is like the O is like the head, and then the 7's like the arm and the hand. 07 is a salute.
Oh, okay, cool. I
Yeah.
had no idea. Nice.
Or is it a German salute? Or would that be?
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
It's
Stop
supposed
it!
to be like
No,
you're
that's a different
saluting.
one. Oh my gosh. Anyways, oof. So, because when I was little, I was friends with girls and boys, and it was just understood that the guys always would bone the girls if they were weak or something like that. You know what I mean? But you could still talk to them. What do you think? No? Randy.
I don't know.
So you would never talk to a girl. Like you've never had
I'll
like
admit, like anytime I had to like really talk to somebody, like for either venting, advice,
you
whatever.
were low key stroking yourself.
What?
Your hands in your pocket. You know what
Got
you're
one
doing.
hand in my pocket. And the other
No,
one-
like anytime I've had to like vent
Give
to
me
somebody, like really bad, it's like I need to vent to someone, I need advice. Like I'm probably going to one of my like guy friends or my family members. Like I'm not going to a girl because at the end of the day, like most women probably aren't actually going to give a fuck. And the other thing is, it's most likely that if there is any interest on the guy's behalf of possibly getting with her or having a relationship with her and stuff, like if he goes crying to her about too much of that shit, she's probably gonna be turned off by it a little bit. They're not gonna be like, oh, he's being so open with me. Like it's gonna be like, nah, he seems like a weak pussy ass bitch. Why is he so upset about this?
Well, the question is, are you a weak pussy ass bitch?
Of course.
If you are, then there's nothing we can do about that, other than go to maybe one of these schools that those guys from that freshman fit thing were talking about. Like the guy that was attacking Andrew. Doesn't matter.
The buff guy.
Okay, so
Buff
when you
guy.
get married, what's gonna happen when you?
Can you talk to your
Can
wife?
you talk to your wife? Would you just go to your guy friends? Say,
Would you be like, shut up, woman?
I'm not talking to you.
Obviously, once there's a more serious relationship, obviously,
marriage.
obviously, once there's a more serious relationship, I'm like,
But
you
where
have
does
a
a serious
deeper
relationship start? Does it start with a conversation, or does it start with sex? I mean, what? Where does it start? How do you get to know this person? And how does
Don't
this person...
talk to them until you insert Randy.
Yeah.
But I thought we were talking about female friends, not
Yeah.
relationships.
Yes, female friends, and then that will somehow
So you're thinking that,
transition into
you're saying
hopefully
that,
marriage.
oh fuck no. Like that's not really my tactic of being friends with a girl and then at
No,
some point it
I'm not
becomes
talking.
more. No,
I'm
it
not.
should be like that. If from the start, it should not be a friendship thing. It should be like a I'm into you, you're into me type thing.
But how do you know? Okay,
What?
I got this. How do you know if you're into them? You would
It's called
only
not
know
being
if you find them
socially
hot.
retarded.
But
Yes,
you sound socially retarded. How do you know if you're into them? You only know what they look like
yes.
unless
At
you
the
talk
end
to
of the
them.
day, one of the base foundations of a relationship is that you find them attractive. Nobody's like,
Wait,
why would you
wait.
be in a relationship with somebody that you don't find physically attractive?
Well,
you think that they're
Because you're
both
friends
long
first.
term? Oh my god! You think
But
that's gonna?
wait.
Why are you arguing?
Randy,
Is this they're like?
But wait, there's two attractions. There's physical attraction,
Yeah, and mental
and then
or
there's
emotional.
and there's a being attracted to the person themselves.
Why are you giving such hard eye contact?
No, Randy.
He's not there.
I have my face inches from the screen staring at you back, Steven.
I'm glad it's your face and not something else. No, but what I'm saying is like, if do you want to be married to someone that you're physically attracted to?
Lower your voice.
Obviously.
Or do you want to be married to someone that you're both physically attracted to and mentally attracted to? Someone who,
Well, yeah,
who your
physically
voice is
and
not
mentally.
grating on the ears, who is not, you understand how
Yes,
they
but the
work
physical thing
mentally.
comes
Like
first.
they're not acting.
The physical thing comes first because it's like if I don't find her physically attractive, why am I even pursuing anything with her?
Well, you can
I'm
be
not gonna.
physically.
I'm not gonna see some ugly ass bitch that's like a 2 or a 3 and be like, you know what? I should go make something happen with her and try to form a really meaningful relationship so we can really get to know each other and we could get married and have kids. And then you know what? In 20 years from now, when I realize that she is the last woman I'll ever have sex with for the rest of my life, I like want to kill myself. You know? That sounds like
And you should. No.
like hell yeah, dude. Like, oh hell yeah, I can't fuck any woman but this ugly ass bitch. I'm so happy with my life. I love this. Like,
but
I love that I married a fucking bridge troll. Like,
but there is a solution to this. You can be very shallow-minded and be only friends with attractive people.
Yeah.
I don't really look to be friends with women. If I'm going to be totally honest. What's that face, Kat?
But wait, we would assume that at some point you want to get. Wait, okay, maybe we're missing something. Do you want to get married at some point in your life?
Yes.
With this
to a woman.
To a woman.
Yes.
Okay, not to a man that has become a woman. To a woman, right? This is correct.
Yes, I just confirmed that.
I'm glad because
we were about to do a different debate before we came on here.
Could have been.
Go
the other way. So the person that you're married to, would you consider them to be your best friend, or would it be Gary down the street with
No, of course. Like, yeah, I mean, if I'm in a serious relationship with the girl, let alone if I'm married with her, I have no doubt that she'd be my best friend.
Okay.
I mean, you talk to any couple, you talk to any married couple that they've been together like 40, 50, 60 years. Like, you ask either one, the guy or the girl, who's your best friend, and they're gonna say my husband or my wife.
Because everyone else sucks. But we can.
That's why you married them, because you like
hopefully
they're the one person that it's like I can somewhat tolerate.
Okay, so there's a problem that I see here. You haven't been able to make friends with any female, so how is it you're going to be friends with?
Where are you getting this idea that I've never been friends with the female?
You said you don't have friends with. You told us you don't have friends.
Yeah, at
with
this point
women.
in my life, I don't seek out friendships with women.
Just men.
I don't even really seek out friendships that much. At the end of the day, people fucking
Okay,
suck.
well, fine.
Like people fucking suck.
I'm glad you
Honestly,
said that.
Wait, hold on. Shh, I got this. What is the criteria for a male friend? Do they have to be hot to you?
Oh yeah.
no. What the
Nice
fuck? No, I don't give a fuck what he looks like. No, if he's a fat bastard, you can believe. Like, if we're buddies, I'm gonna be like, dude, why are you such a fat fuck? You need to get your ass in the gym.
And you drag his ass to the gym.
No, but like,
'Cause you're a good friend.
so like, in terms of quote unquote criteria for male friends, I'm not gonna be friends with a guy if he's addicted to gambling, addicted to drugs, if he's going out to bars and clubs every fucking weekend, because that's not how I roll. And I also believe that you are basically the average of the 5 people in your life that you surround yourself with the most. So if
I'm a troll.
if I have 2 friends that are drug addicts, and I have a friend that's addicted to gambling, and I have another friend that does, who know, if I'm friends with a bunch of pieces of shit, it's likely that at some point in time I'm going to get dragged into that stuff, and I'm gonna become the people that I'm surrounding myself by.
And that's why you keep women out of your friend group. Got it.
So you won't become a woman. I get it. Makes sense. I like it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, Randy's gonna be wearing.
I'll go to Victoria's Secret with my girl, but I'm not.
And try something on.
And you're gonna make sure that bra fits.
I'm not gonna be friends with some girl, and it's like, oh, she's just a friend, and I'm going to Victoria's Secret with her. Like, no, fuck that.
Actually, that
I don't want to go to Victoria's Secret.
No. I mean that, and I'm being serious. That is like this because this happened today. That is
what happened.
I went shopping with you. Rather, you went shopping and I just stood. That's a true friend, to go shopping to a store that the only thing there you have any interest in is the pictures on the wall.
See, and you're like, you guys are still. It seems like you're still coming at it from this like this standpoint of like, oh, you have to be friends with her and then comes the relationship.
Because it helps.
Sounds like no.
Is that how we did it, Peen?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how we actually did it.
Yeah.
We had, there was no penetration for.
No, I'm not saying we have to fuck super quick and early on.
But
what's it happen? Oh, so
go ahead. Inappropriate. Yeah. The first time I met him, I did not like him, Randy.
So romantic.
I know.
Believe it or not, I mean, everyone likes
such
me.
a great fairy tale love story. Honestly,
it was a fairy tale. Look.
When I saw him, I thought I couldn't stand him. Honestly,
it wasn't that I couldn't stand. Like, I picked him right based on his photo. I'm like, hey.
My husband, I walked in the room and I was just like, what the fuck?
No.
Ew.
No, it wasn't what he looked like. It was, the conversation was kind of like bleh. You know what I mean?
Partly.
Well, yeah, Stephen rides on his looks.
Yeah, he does. that was the problem. And, so do I. So we were just kind of it was kind of, nobody was impressing the other. It's really sad. Anyways, but
we did a lot of movies.
Yeah, so we did movies.
We sat in a dark room and looked at light on a wall for hours.
And then we would talk about it afterwards, and that's how we became friends.
There was handshakes only.
Yeah, we would do this, like,
I had to force her to shake my hand the first time.
Yeah, like I'm doing now, shake my hand.
And it was this, not a good old, it's this, like, oh, fingers, nice. Because she'd like pull them back just slightly so she'd get the fingers. Yeah. Great.
What do you want from me right now?
We want you to find a good girl, and we want for you to, become friends with her, so you could maybe one day get married and understand how a woman likes to be treated in a relationship in which
That's the
she's
thing.
your
If I'm gonna
friend.
be if I'm gonna be getting in a serious relationship with the girl, like I'm going to first find her attractive. That's not gonna be like,
Okay, no, yes.
No, don't find her attractive, Randy.
oh,
I'm kidding.
once again,
No,
saying
you're
I
right,
should
you're
marry
right.
some ugly bridge
No, no, no,
girl.
no, no.
Like,
Plastic surgery has its place. No,
What
but-
about what about a mid chick? Eh? Mid.
I dated one for 4 years.
And
How'd that work?
Well, I'm single, so you tell me.
Oh, okay. Okay. So wait. But was it because she was mid?
Maybe partially. I don't know. I mean, probably not the root cause.
do you think maybe he had the
I don't think it helped though. I definitely don't think it helped. She
do you think-
definitely had some self-confidence problems.
Okay, it's not that.
So she was like a little lower on the hotness scale than you were, would you say?
What?
Would you say that you were hotter than her?
Probably.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's not gonna. No.
like you're standing in a mirror, both of you side by side, and you're like,
No. Look. Oh my
Mm.
god, I'm sorry. Did I kick you? Get her. Oh, show me. Oh, you're not on video. Do you want to see my cat?
glad you used that
I've
word.
seen your cat. I've seen your pussy before.
No, but he's so cute. Come here. Come here.
Hi,
little-
B. How are you?
Get her. Go hunt her down. Anyways, yeah, because we got to go in like 2 minutes, but you have to see this cuteness that we have spent all of our money on. So expensive.
Is it a new cat?
No, it's the same one that I spent all of
Oh,
our
the
money
same
on.
one I've seen a fucking shit ton of times.
I'm sorry, but look at this. Look at this, Randy. Hello.
It's a very hairy pussy you have, cat.
Look at her. Look at this angel from heaven. Look at that.
I mean, it's a girl cat, so I already know she's a bitch. Girl cats are always mean.
I mean, you're not wrong.
For some reason, guy cats are always way more friendly and affectionate and playful. Girl cats are always just bitches.
But
Yep.
she's a beautiful look. Okay, Randy.
She looks angry as fuck right now. Look at her ears going back.
I love you. You perfect. Perfect. Anyways,
She's like,
if
"Put
my
me
cat,
down."
if my cat, so cool. Stop saying that. If my cat was a female, she would be super hot, right? Be honest. This is
No,
a 10.
she'd be a fat bitch. Look at her.
He called you fat princess.
If she was a person, she'd be like a 4. 'Cause she'd definitely be a fat bitch.
Disrespect my cat? What the Okay, sweetie, go. He disrespect. I know he doesn't think you're hot.
Just
Yeah,
like all persons.
she's not worthy of Morty.
Scary.
Morty is a fucking ripped Chad. He's the alpha.
Morty.
Yeah.
Morty looks like. Can you post a picture of him?
I can't on YouTube.
Why? Is he like against TLS?
How would I post a picture on YouTube? You're gonna have to teach me if I can post pictures on YouTube. What?
Okay, in the bottom of the thingamajigger, there's a thing that says present. You click on the present button, and then it says, no.
No.
Wait, your computer? No. Huh. No, wait, this one.
You click that.
Damn. Maybe you can't do that.
Old people trying to figure out the computer. Where
Okay,
is
look.
it?
Look.
Huh?
Look. I
It
don't
was
know.
there the other day.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyways, Randy, it's
Besides, all the pictures I have of him are on my phone, and I'm on my laptop right now. So
Oh, send me a picture of him. Anyways, we'll do it later. We should do a whole episode on like how weird your cat's face looks.
yeah, let's not do that and then say we did.
Okay, fine, whatever. But like next time I do a podcast, I want a picture of your cat to just like have in the corner, and like not talk about it so people can be a little creeped out.
Okay.
Cool.
He's sleeping right now.
Nice.
He's just zooted.
Cute. So anyways, thanks for hanging out. We got to go to bed,
Yes.
but
Hey,
good. What?
next time you want to give me a little more notice for once?
No.
For once, you
No.
never give me a decent notice. It's always
You're
like,
You didn't
hey,
give me any
you
notice
wanna
either.
you want to stream in 10 minutes? Oh, thanks. Thanks for giving me a nice heads up. I'm not even fucking home right now.
I'm in my PJs and I just got the idea.
But he had to prepare his voice. You understand the antics he has to go through. He has to go ha 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 ha.
Exactly.
Anyways, well, thank you for accommodating us.
No problem. You know, I'm just a giver. I like to take care of people, you know?
Oh, I'll bet you do.
Stop.
Bet you do.
No.
Get all randy with him.
What are you talking about? It's so weird.
Randy is like, I'm pretty sure British. It means like horny.
Mm-hmm.
We know.
Yeah, we know.
We say that all the time. You know, I told
Am I
you there's
making you Randy, baby?
Ugh, creepy.
Ah. Go to town on the fanny.
Ew, Stephen, no, never say that word. That is the worst word in the world. The
What,
most
fanny?
disgusting. Just stop. It's so
They
disgusting.
made a student
gross.
loan organization
It's
out
so
of
gross.
it. Or was that
Franny,
no.
not that.
I thought it was Fannie Mae.
No, stop. Wait, maybe
Fannie
no.
Mae.
Franny? Is it? I don't want to know. It doesn't matter.
No, that was in student loans.
Wait.
Is that student loans?
Something like I think it is.
Yeah. Fannie Mae.
Ooh, anyway, so we got to go to bed.
Fanny and a panty making me really Randy.
Ew. Anyways. All right. Good night. And thanks to everyone who's watching. Have a good night and a good Memorial Day.
07's in the chat for all of our fallen soldiers.
Yes.
Or O with the slash.
Good night. Oh no.